Alrighty, here with Doug at the field with the current sprayer, and we're gonna test this out. We were gonna put a whole field of these out, but we've got to inter-row cultivate after we spray, so it would be very painful and annoying for the person who had to inter-row cultivate. So we're gonna just throw it on the ground, drive it over a couple times, and see how she does. Okay, so Doug's hopping up in the tractor, and we're just gonna drive over it quick. But the idea is that you've got the males that are these gaps here because you can only spray the females with these curtain sprayers, and the shelter has to go in the female bay, so we have to make sure that that section goes on either side and that it can clear it with those curtains without wiping things off. Now we know that the nozzles are high enough, you can see on the open spots that they're high enough. It's just how this is designed. And obviously we can adjust things with our curtain sprayer, but we want this to work generally for most other curtain sprayers. So we've made them so that it only sticks up about 6 inches is kind of the goal in total. But you've got some flaps, and we got to change some of the design, but we're gonna give it a go. It's definitely in a grassy spot. Start to see. Oh, we are definitely getting some moving, which is definitely a concern. Okay, so maybe just go just a hair that way. Oh. Just standing on it to see if it's catching on. Okay, so we're catching on something. Let's see what's going on. What are we catching on? Okay, so we have got some kind of, what in the world is that? We've got some kind of cross beam coming down right here. So that's our biggest issue. So we'll have to check underneath here and see. Maybe you can see. You see that there's this cross beam. Where's my fingers? Whoa. I'm sorry. You're probably not being able to see almost anything. Okay. Underneath here. Okay, so yeah, so we've got that cross. Oh, so we've only got one of them. Just this cross beam right there. That's our one problem. Anywhere else and we would be just fine, but it's just that. So we'll have to play with that and just see what the clearance is. So I'm gonna look over here and see, sorry, see, like this one has got a chain, and so it can kind of go up and down and it's fine. This guy right here, yeah, that's our problem, is that sticks out, and it would have been perfect otherwise. So it's good that we didn't put out a whole field of these, because that would be annoying and painful. But that's what these tests are about. So this guy is, yeah, he's barely 6 inches off the ground there, and because of all this grass, like, we might have been able to clear it out in the field because we're certainly driving on some grass, and like, in theory it should go over. Like, if I'm holding it down right here, it's gonna go underneath there. So let's just see. Slide out.
Should we try it out on the dirt, then you don't have the grass?
Yeah. And what's happening is and it's only on this side right here, is we have one cross beam that comes way low. On the back, there's nothing, it's totally fine. And we're actually like right close, like right here, I can push it underneath. But it is.
We put it on the dirt side,
yeah.
We have all this mass underneath it.
We give it a shot. Let's try it. Okay, we're doing another test in the field with not all that undergrowth and grass to push it up a little bit. Definitely looking under our sprayer, the one on this side, the one we were going underneath, it definitely has been bent down extremely, but it's like we just need that much more clearance, and so that's an easy fix on our side, and then I think in theory should work. But we're gonna try it again even with that bent down part, because it is just that close, and just see. I think, well, and Doug and I were talking, is we've just got to figure out just to get that gap a little bit closer, just so it's not popping up and catching on things. But other than that, I think it's looking pretty sweet. Alright, so we're gonna try going over it. See how it goes. Oh, baby. It goes over. That's beautiful. Look at that. Works like a dream. Yeah, we just make a couple adjustments, but like that is a game changer. Woo-wee! Just trying to think. It may actually be flipped over like this when we unfold it, because that's the back side and that will be the base. And so when we open it up, like I think this is folded slightly wrong, but it will be just a top seal top on top. So maybe I'll flip it and try it again here, but it looks awesome. Okay, so this is actually this is how it's supposed to be folded down, and we knew this. I'm so glad we're smarter than I am remembering that I am smart. But the flaps are supposed to be on the bottom so that when we lift it up, the base is already right in the right spot and the lid is coming up the right spot and facing to the east. So then that also doesn't leave that flap lifted up that could catch on something. So he's going to slowly back up things over it, and we're going to try it one more time, but we want to kind of see how big of a gap we've got on everything. Oh, so that little back flap is catching on that metal part, which we were worried about. Okay, just gonna back up a little bit. There you go. There we go. Okay, so it's just barely. Okay, so now we're gonna try it again. But that flap is a bit of an issue. Okay, he's gonna try it again. You see how it caught right there on that edge. So we may have to change some of how we fold it and maybe try and make this top part as flat as possible just so it doesn't catch on anything. We'll see. I'm a little worried it's gonna catch right there. Oh, it went over. But now, is it gonna catch on that one? Oh, it didn't. Went over just like a dream. Okay, so it's definitely a sprayer issue. It's just we have that one chunk that's just sticking out and scratching there, but other than that, it's looking good. It's looking good. Test, I would say, is successful. Man, I love our shelters. They just look so good. Good looking.